Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Journey. And the Journey represents an opportunity for cyclical change, and it's not to be feared. Okay, if anything, it should be embraced. Okay, it should be celebrated and accepted. You know, traditionally, this card is known as death. Okay, but where there's death, there's life. And that's what this raven's trying to tell you, that, even though this deer may have died, okay, due to natural causes, or, maybe it was attacked by wolves, okay, it provided life for the rest of the ecosystem that's out there. The raven's still, plucking at it. It's giving it life, okay? So, don't let death scare you, because what it does is it comes at a time for rebirth, all right? The other thing that this card talks about is letting the past die and acknowledging your deepest fears and desires. The guardian is like that. The mirror is like that. The hooded man is like that in different ways, all right? The journey that you're on, you have to meet those deeper fears. You have to meet those deeper desires in order for you to move forward. Okay, and sometimes you have to let go of what's happening there. And we talked about that yesterday with that blasted oak. That blasted oak, shook your world. And now it's time for you to say, you know what? Yeah, it shook my world. It's time for me to move on. All right, it's time for me to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Don't get caught up in what's happening yesterday. Look at what's happening tomorrow. Okay, because you're meant to live this life. You're not meant to be stagnant. You're not meant to, to die to everybody else's energy. All right, and you can't ever step in the same river twice. Let's say you're crossing that river, and and it's fearful. Maybe it's a little bit deep. It's the unknown. You don't understand it. Okay, there's some fear in crossing a river. Okay, what's on the other side? Whether it's it's short and you can see it, or it's long. Okay, is the current going to grab me? You let all these fears come into play. But what does that river do? Obviously, don't put yourself into a bad situation. Okay, maybe you have to move upstream or downstream where it's easier to cross that river. Take yourself out of harm's way. But what the river is doing is it's changing. The waters are moving the rocks. The water is eroding the land around it. If it's high water, even if it's a low water, okay, it's changing the environment that's around you. Okay, and with change, people don't like it. People don't like change. They'd rather be secure in their ways, secure in their doing the same thing over and over and over again. And change is happening all around them, and they don't realize it. And then when they have a blasted oak moment, like yesterday, they realize, wow, I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to do something different. COVID was a big change for everybody. Have to do something different. That's just not a cyclical change. That is a cosmic change. We all have to adapt. We all have to wear a mask. We all have to stay 6 feet apart. How do you adapt to that change? Some of us feared it. They don't want to change. But yet at the same time, life continues to go on. It's going to leave you behind. So don't fear that change. Right now it's a time for realignment. Realigning yourself to the goals and desires that you have out there. Okay, realigning to, living that life. And not being in the death. They almost die off before the new growth can be renewed. We have to, going into springtime now, you're going to have to rake that grass, get the dead grass out so new grass can grow. That's a time of, the journey. Okay, so celebrate and acknowledge the passing of something dead. Maybe it's a concept, an idea. Maybe it's an attitude, letting go of something. And rejoice. Rejoice that you recognize that life lesson. And with patience and calmness, start growing in that new opportunity that's out there. As I look at the rest of the cards, you've got, 3 major arcana cards down here. The Journey, the Blasted Oak, and the Hooded Man. We talked a little bit about that Blasted Oak. Now that your bonds are freed, let go of what's holding you back. It's time to move forward because you want to be fulfilled with that 3 of Bows. All right? Take on the challenge, that rivalry of that 2 of Stones challenge. Step away from your comfort zone with the 10 of Stones and home. Look within with that Hooded Man and that Page of Arrows who's asking you, what do you need to learn to overcome? And that's the card that just dropped off. That Page of Arrows led you down that path. And know that you're still in transition. You're transitioning into this journey. You're transitioning into the dark of the night. That raven, the full moons are out there. We got a new moon coming up. Okay. And maybe it's time for you to move. Maybe it's time for you to transition. All right. You looked within, you saw what needed to happen. Okay. You realized your inner fears. And you said, you know what? I have to go back home. And then I have to overcome the challenges. Maybe the worry, the anxiety. Maybe the trials and tribulations. And once you overcome those trials and tribulations and you grow from it, you realize that you're not fulfilled. You got to find that path to fulfill you again. Okay? And during that process, your subconscious or an event knocked you off that limb. Broke those bindings. Yes, you're going to fall. You're going to get hurt. But that's all right. Brush yourself off and start that journey anew. Whatever's dead, let it lay dead. You can't change the past. All you can do is, change your present to make your future better. And that's what this card represents, this journey. Where there's death, there's life. Where there's death, there's rebirth. It's an opportunity now to move forward. To start that journey again. Maybe maybe not even start it. Maybe continue it forward. Letting things go that are in the past. Letting things go that are keeping you behind. Maybe you need to put that ego in check. Maybe that's what that 2 of Stones, that challenge was talking about. Because it was holding you back. So there you have it, the journey out of the Wildwood Tarot deck. Hit that like button for me. This is the tarot card of the day. Hit that like button for me, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. This is Dee for the Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.